Hey, what's up, y'all? Back again with another episode. I hope you guys are doing well, taking care of yourself, and eating foods that are aligned with you, drinking water, and just taking care of yourself as a whole. Very important. So I wanted to talk about, is flirting bad? Flirting, it depends on the people. It depends on the couple. And both people need to come to terms of what they feel comfortable with and what's allowed and what's not allowed. It does happen where people think that you're flirting and you're absolutely not, and that can get misconstrued and that can cause chaos. But sometimes I think people attract people naturally just because of who they are, the light that they hold spiritually, or just because they're bubbly, they are who they are, they just attract people. And understanding your power within, knowing when to regulate that, because sometimes you could put the energy out there of wanting attention, so you will get that attention. And if you're in a relationship, why are you attracting this type of attention? Are you energetically saying to yourself that you constantly want to be validated? That's one thing that you could look at within yourself. Like, how are you using your validation and why do you need it? Because subconsciously it may be telling you that. And so that can cause a lot of problems in a relationship. Sometimes we like to say that, oh, that person's insecure if they flirt. And I don't believe that. Like, people have a certain standard of how they want to be in a relationship, and they are entitled to that. They don't play those games. They don't have time for it. They want a solid, committed, monogamous relationship, whatever gender you prefer. People want a solid, monogamous relationship. And then you have those people who are into poly relationships, open relationships, what have you. But even those have rules in itself. Even that needs communication as well. So when you get into these types of relationships, it's key to just know yourself. Know yourself spiritually. Know the power that you have within yourself spiritually, so you know how to use these energies. Because there's a lot of people who attract, they're in a relationship and they're in a monogamous relationship, and they attract a bunch of men, or they attract a bunch of women. And it's like, have you looked at your birth chart? Have you understood the alignments that are in your birth chart to see why you attract so many dramatic situations in your personal relationship, in your monogamous relationship? Like, where is this power, this energy going to? Where is all this sacral energy being outputted to? Are you using your energy to create or be in a hobby? Are you reserving your energy? Are we so committed to our gender roles? Are we so committed to our femininity and holding on to that it's overtaking us to where we don't know how to use our sacral divine energy for what it needs to be used for? It doesn't always have to be used in a sexual way. We don't always have to act on our sexual urges. And that's why a lot of people were talking about semen retention or being celibate and all that stuff, because people want to take things away so they can have control, or basically they can understand the energy that is within them, that they are holding within their body. Because you can't really control energy. You just have to sit back and observe the energy and understand how energy works. Like, I'm still learning how energy works and how I react to energy and how I participate in other people's energies, so I can know that self. Most of us, if we're not, into spirituality, we don't know what we're doing with our energy. We don't know why we're attracting what we are attracting. And so that can cause a lot of confusion. We can, like I said, we can just turn that attention that we're getting from a bunch of people into validation, into seeking and being addicted to the external. And it's more about the internal. Like, I had no idea that there was a thing called chakras, and I've mentioned this before, that I had no idea what chakras was about. I didn't know anything about energy. I just knew about what's good and what's bad, not really understanding what was right for me, not understanding what was right for me, So, is flirting good or bad? It depends on the people. As long as you're honest with who you are interacting with and who you are, then you guys could go from there. Then you can go from there. But we can't hold too tightly on who people are, what we expect from them, the roles that they're going to play in our lives. We just have to take accountability of what we want and what we like. And we can change that whenever we want. We can absolutely change what we want to accept and what we don't want to accept. And we want to entertain and what we don't want to entertain. So that's why there's just so much, confusion about how relationships should be, because we are trying to define our relationships off of everyone else and what they think, and off of a book of rules that are telling us how to commit, how to get married, how a relationship is supposed to look like, when it's going to be different for everyone. Just like spiritually, my God looks different than your God, because God is working through me in a different form, because I have different abilities, you have different abilities that you can tap into. So we have to, we've made everything so confusing, so constricted, and we're not making things simple. Our relationships could be a lot more simple if we were more real about who we are, if we started to try to understand who we are, where we come from, our spiritual, true, loving selves, without attachments. Because we like to attach to things, and we all have to work on this. We all have to work on our attachment styles, and knowing when to step back and observe, knowing when to participate, and knowing when to not. So, flirting and someone's looks doesn't matter. Flirting can come from any type of person, whatever they look like. Looks don't have anything to do with it. People will do what they want to do and get into the things that they want to get into and experience for themselves. So it's having that spiritual maturity within you to take responsibility for what you attract, how you use your energy, when to use it. So, if you don't like flirting, start to be okay with the fact that people do flirt, because I know that I was uncomfortable with people flirting. I didn't necessarily like that. And because I didn't like it that so much that people flirted during that time, when I was dating people, it seemed like people did it more. Like the people I was dating did it more, So it's like whatever you dislike in the relationships or you see in other people, just come to terms with it when it's happening. Be okay with it and know that you could speak up, you could communicate, and you can move on to someone that matches your energy, but not to hate on it, not to hate on the fact that someone is a flirty type of person. If that's not your style, just move on. I think we put too much attention on people being flirty, and it drives us nuts, and it is messed up depending on your standard of how you look at relationships. But don't hate on it so much to the point where it's happening over and over and over. Just accept people that they flirt. Accept the fact that they flirt. And if you don't want to deal with it, no matter how good they look, no matter whatever the case may be, because a lot of people, we get too attached by how someone looks because they look good, that we don't want to let it go. We would rather just deal with the flirting, and it just takes you down a dark hole and it gets your mind racing and all this stuff. Just learn to accept that the person is flirting and either move past it, work with your own quote unquote insecurities, whatever they may be, and know that it's okay that you have a standard, that you don't want to date someone no matter how good they look. There's so many people here on this earth that will give you what you absolutely want, that because you deserve it. You deserve to be loved the way that you want to be loved. But we have to take accountability of loving ourselves the best way, giving ourselves the best love that no one could really give you, because love, honestly, love from another person can only go so far. We have to complete the package within us and put a bow on us at the end of the day. We have to complete the present and put the bow on top of that present to complete the full whole body love that we have within us. And how we tap into the full embodiment of love is just loving everything about you. Loving everything about you. Who cares what other people thought about you in the past? Who cares what somebody said about you? You have to learn everything, learn and love everything about you. Absolutely. And that will help you get closer and closer and closer to the person that you actually want to be with. You know, because those feelings of people flirting or cheating, it doesn't feel good because you have a certain commitment, but not everybody in their mind has that same commitment, has that same standard, you know, and that is okay. You will find someone else that can uphold that commitment that you have with yourself. So thank you guys so much for listening. And flirting is not bad. It's just date someone else. Choose to date someone else. It's you have the power to date whoever you want to date. You have options. Don't ever think that you're going to go into FOMO relationship, fear of missing out on a relationship because, you know, this person is that way and you're not. That's just something you don't want to deal with, and that's okay. That's okay. That's why I don't like to call them insecurities, because we all have things that we want to deal with and that we don't want to deal with in a relationship. And that is okay. It doesn't have to be called an insecurity. It absolutely doesn't. You just want a straight on monogamous relationship. That's it. Where both of you guys are into each other. You guys don't have to output, you know, the person that you're with that is flirty. Like, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy. You know, you're concentrating on having a relationship where you can build spiritually, where you can build externally. That's the type of relationship that you want. Go for. That's what you want to look for. That's what you want to go for. All the other stuff you're not interested in. You're not interested in playing these little kid games of flirting. And of course people will find other people attractive. That's a given. But at the same time, I think that we hold too tight with our sexuality way too much, to where we don't know how to control ourselves. You know, we don't know how to control the energy that's within us. And just because you find someone attractive, I know at the end of the day that it doesn't mean that they're right for me. It absolutely doesn't mean that they're right for me. And that's for you to intuitively assess within your body. Are you allowing yourself to be under a spell over the feelings of someone looking good, or they're attractive, oh my gosh, and la la la. That's feelings that you're creating within yourself. Those are your feelings that you could use you could use that energy for yourself. Just because someone is good looking, like, that can only go so far. So what if someone's good looking? It doesn't mean anything. Like, we let these sexual energies take over us, and we don't have to do that. We really don't, because we don't know who anyone is that's walking on this earth. We don't know. if they're compatible with us or what they're into, if they're spiritually inclined. And even if they are spiritually inclined, it doesn't mean that they are right for you. So that's why we should always not get lost in la la land over the feelings that we create for other people, because it doesn't mean that they're right for us. So thank y'all for listening. I hope you took something from what I was talking about. If it resonates, if it doesn't, then leave it. But any of the case, continue to take care of yourself, drink water, eat foods that help you thrive and be the best you. Thank y'all for listening. I'll be back next time. Peace.